제가 몇 년 전 너무도 고통스러웠던 어느 날에 제게 힘이 되어준 영상에 대한 이야기입니다. 저는 그때도 성당을 다니고 있었고 하느님을 믿고 있었기에 이런 의문이 들었습니다. 왜 나에게 이런 일이 생길까? 하느님은 사랑이시라는데 나를 정말 사랑하시기는 하나? 그때 저는 지푸라기라도 잡는 심정으로 어두운 방 안에 홀로 앉아서 유튜브에 검색을 해보았습니다. 영어로 Does God Love Me? 라고요. 그랬더니 한 영상이 떴습니다. 바로 마이크 신부님의 이 영상이었습니다. 왜인지 모르게 당시에 이 영상을 보고 오열하면서 울었던 기억이 있습니다. 그 영상을 오늘 여러분과 나누고 싶었습니다.
So the other day I got a video on my phone from my little sister. She has 3 little girls. The 2 oldest, one is in 1st grade, the other one's in preschool. And the preschooler, they're all lying in bed, and the preschooler was sick. And just like this video of just her eyes were all red, her nose was so stuffed, and she's like, "Hello, Uncle Father Mike, I hope you're doing okay." And I was just like, oh my gosh. And later on I talked to my sister, and just here's this little sick little girl, and she's laying on my sister's chest there as my sister was in her bed with her older sister, that she just kind of like just comforting her. And she said, yeah, she had to pick Catherine up from school that day. She got kind of sick, and I just thought about this. It just blew me away. Just that reflecting on this is, what does that do to a human being to know that when I'm sick, someone else is going to stop what they're doing and they're going to come get me? Like, what does it do with a human being? Like, what does it do to little Catherine there? Say, okay, when I can't breathe them out of my nose, my eyes are all red and just feel so sick, that someone's just gonna hold on to me, someone's gonna hold me close. What does that do to a human being's heart? Like, that sense of, and the other question is, what does the opposite do? That when I am in the most need is when I least find people around me. That affects our hearts. That idea that either I'm chosen, I'm loved when I'm at my best, or I'm chosen, I'm loved when I'm at my worst. You know, this is actually the message of Christianity, isn't it? Is that Jesus Christ chooses us because we're weak, not in spite of weakness. In fact, I think it might have been St. Catherine of Siena or someone who said this, who said, God does not love us in spite of our weaknesses. He loves us because of our weaknesses. And that the gospel is this. It's in Romans chapter 5. St. Paul says this. He says, Christ, while we were still helpless, yet died at the appointed time for the ungodly. God proves his love for us in that while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. And just remarkable, because I think a lot of us don't believe the gospel. I think a lot of us believe the anti-gospel. And the anti-gospel is this: in order to be chosen, you've got to be perfect. In order to be loved, you've got to be lovable. In order to belong to someone, in order for people to stop what they're doing and come and be with you, you have to be whole, you have to be strong, you have to be healthy, you have to be great, special. But the message of Christianity, the real gospel, is in order to be redeemed by Jesus, you have to be broken. In order to be loved by God, you have to be, in some ways, you might even say unlovable. And in order to be redeemed by him, you have to be a sinner. In order to be made righteous, you have to be someone who's not righteous. Now, I know so many Christians who disqualify themselves because they say, no, I'm too weak. I'm too much of a sinner. I'm too broken. And in that case, you just have to remind them that's not the gospel, that's the anti-gospel. But to believe the true gospel is to know this. When I'm in need, the Lord comes to my aid. When I'm stuck, he comes to my rescue. And when I am dying, he dies in my place and in your place. Again, you're not chosen because you're special. You're special because you're chosen. And God does not need you to be perfect. He just wants you to be his.
지금 고통 중에 있으신가요? 그 누구의 위로도 마음에 와닿지 않고 지금의 지치고 힘든 마음을 달래줄 그 무엇도 남아있지 않으신가요? 그럴 때는 기억하셨으면 좋겠습니다. 당신을 하느님이 사랑하고 있다는 것을요. 이 말을 어떻게 해야 당신에게 온전히 전달될 수 있을지 저는 잘 모르겠습니다. 저에게는 그 일을 해낼 능력이 없다는 생각도 듭니다. 하지만 하느님께서 하고자 하신다면 저의 이 부족한 입술을 통해서도 그 일을 해내실 것이라 믿습니다. 그래서 부족하나마 이렇게 말해봅니다. 당신은 하느님의 사랑받는 자녀입니다. 하느님은 당신을 사랑하고 있습니다. 사랑합니다.